Right now at noon, charges have been filed in a suspicious death case involving a 13-year-old girl in Iowa County. And Madison is welcoming a new bishop this afternoon. We'll take a live look at Bishop Hines' installment.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now on this Tuesday afternoon. We'll get to those stories in just a bit. But first, let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast. A couple of drops of rain hit me on the way into work this morning.
Yeah, that's right. We will see the chances for some rain along with some thunderstorms later on. I don't think everyone gets wet, Mark, but we are watching the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms. I think most of that is going to be mainly south and east of the Madison area if it develops. Of course, we are watching some storms to the west right now that are fired up. Those are moving our direction. They're not severe, and really they don't have much lightning with them either. So most of that is just shower activity as we speak. The clouds starting to gray up now on the western horizon. Temperature-wise, we are very comfortable out there. 78 warm degrees. The winds are calm. Dew points right around 60. A lot of us are seeing those mild temperatures. Janesville has already made it to 82. We're at 80 in Kenosha. I think all of us will see those temperatures into the low 80s for highs this afternoon, likely topping out right around 82 degrees. And then we'll watch our temperatures gradually cool off into the overnight hours before perhaps some sunshine takes over into Wednesday, Mark.
And a hot weekend on tap.
Yes, there is a hot weekend on tap. 3 alert days in store. I'll be touching on that in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks, Chris. New at noon, charges have been filed in a suspicious death case in Iowa County more than a year after it happened. 13-year-old Selah Caden died on a property in the town of Mineral Point on May 31st, 2018. The girl's parents were living in North Carolina and had arranged for her to temporarily stay with a family in Mineral Point. Two members of that family, 50-year-old Lori and 27-year-old Alexis Berry, face first-degree reckless homicide charges. They'll be in court on July 9th. The Beloit School District employee arrested on suspicion of child pornography possession is now held on a $20,000 signature bond. Aaron Weber was arrested Friday and is on administrative leave. He worked at multiple schools, and according to parents in the district, he worked primarily with children who needed extra help due to learning disorders. If convicted, Weber could face $100,000 in fines and 25 years in prison for each of the 2 child pornography charges he faces. Bishop Donald Hine is being installed as the 5th Bishop of Madison. The ceremony happening right now at St. Maria Goretti Parish. Hine is a Wisconsin native who most recently was the Bishop of the Diocese of Gary, Indiana. He told News 3 Now in an exclusive interview yesterday that he couldn't be more thrilled to be back home. Hine says he hopes to build trust and plans to meet with every priest, every school, and every parish. The Madison Ballet has a new CEO. Jonathan Solari sat down with News 3 Now this morning team to talk about his plans for that organization in the future. Last year, the ballet cut back on the number of shows it had each season and slashed its company from 16 to 4 dancers. After those significant financial concerns, Solari says the focus of the ballet will shift to access to the arts.
So looking to figure out ways to provide increased scholarships for our classes, looking for ways to be able to increase lower ticket prices, and just make sure that the community understands that we're here as an asset for them.
Solari says the ballet is on the verge of announcing its next season. And happening today at the Capitol, public education advocates who've been marching since Saturday will reach the end of their 60-mile journey. They're calling for 60% of reimbursement of special education costs, which the Republican-controlled Budget Writing Committee cut from state budget plans. The State Assembly will vote on the 2-year spending plan this afternoon. We'll have updates on News 3 Now. The state Supreme Court has decided to allow oversight of public school policy to shift from the state superintendent to the governor. That's a reversal of an earlier Supreme Court ruling that the superintendent has the constitutional authority to act independently. The ruling says a 2017 law requiring state agencies to get permission from the governor before drafting new policies is constitutional. And just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center, Melania Trump's spokeswoman Stephanie Grisham will step into 2 new roles, the White House press secretary and communications director. The First Lady moved on Twitter that Grisham will also stay on as Melania's spokeswoman. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani is lashing out at President Trump, calling the new U.S. sanctions outrageous and idiotic. President Trump tweeted, "Iran's very ignorant and insulting statement put out today only shows that they do not understand reality. Any attack by Iran on anything American will be met with great and overwhelming force." A spokeswoman for Iran's foreign ministry says the sanctions are a permanent closure for diplomacy.
You cannot start a dialogue with somebody who is threatening you, who is intimidating you.
President Trump has warned any military conflict would result in Iran's obliteration, but he also says he wants to let the sanctions take effect first. Dane County Regional Airport is offering a new nonstop flight for October when the Badgers take on a Big Ten rival. The airport is adding a flight to Columbus, Ohio for the October 26th Badgers-Buckeyes game. The flight will leave Friday, October 25th, return Sunday the 27th, and according to a release, it'll be a larger aircraft with 3 seating classes. And looking ahead, tomorrow is the first Concerts on the Square of the season. This year's Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra lineup includes 6 shows on Wednesdays, starting tomorrow through the end of July. Tomorrow's concert features the orchestra's Young Artist Concerto competition winner, 17-year-old Sakurako Erickson. He's on piano. That starts at 7 o'clock on the King Street side of the Capitol. And there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Join us today as we whip up a classic cheesy bread and visit a place that's famous in the Western. As our week-long salute to the Wild Wild West continues, we're taking a look at a place where many Western movies and TV shows were filmed. It's Durango, Colorado. As a matter of fact, if you've seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, then you'll appreciate why Durango's called the Hollywood of the West. It was gold that first lured so many to this breathtaking area. And once the Denver-Rio Grande Western Railroad reached Durango in 1881, the area boomed, and it's still thriving today. So if you have a hankering to immerse yourself in a Western town with lots of history, Durango is the place to go. And no trip to the area is complete without a ride on the steam-powered Durango-Silverton Railroad. In the old days, it hauled gold and silver. Today, it hauls tourists on a historic ride with majestic backdrops. And as you can imagine, there are plenty of places to grab a true down-home Western meal. One cowboy classic that we recreated so you can make it at home is a simple beer bread that's studded with cheese. It's just as good with a steaming bowl of chili as it is slathered with butter. To get the recipe for our cheesy beer bread, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a Wild West kind of way for you to say, oh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. We have a slight chance of storms today, and there's a stretch of 90-degree temperatures in store for the weekend. Chris Reese has your first alert forecast next. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials down 114 points. The NASDAQ down almost 82. The S&P 500 is off 17. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee out of the radio barn today. So here are your farm numbers. And it's time now for the weather. Chris Reese over in the Weather Center. A nice summer day out there.
Yeah, that's right. Temperature's very comfortable out there as well already. We're starting to see some low 80s showing up. That would be Janesville at 82 degrees already. In Madison, we're at 78. And all of us are going to be warming up today, folks, especially with those winds coming out of the south where you have the wind. It's calm elsewhere. Wind chill, 79 as well. Really, we should be showing you dew points, though, because there is more moisture coming into the atmosphere along with the possibility of showers and thunderstorms. So this is our sky cam looking to the west as at least some showers and storms begin to approach our area. We'll watch them for the potential to grow severe. We do have a marginal risk here in Madison and then a slight risk as you work your way south and east of town. In fact, I do think south and east of Madison, you're talking Milwaukee, down towards Janesville will be the areas that are at greatest risk for seeing severe storms if we can actually get a strong storm to fire up. Whether or not we see storms today, it's going to be a little bit iffy. There's not a lot going on to really produce those storms. But if it does happen, we're looking at a possibility of higher winds, which again will be greatest south and east of Madison. That same area will have the greater threat for some large hail. And then we'll watch the minor risk for tornadoes. Again, mainly south and east of Madison. Today is not going to be a severe weather outbreak at all. I think yesterday turned out to be the stormier day, but we're watching some showers right now. None of them are producing lightning, but that could change at any moment. So we're going to watch these as they gradually work their way towards the east, and they've actually been losing a little bit of their oomph as they've pushed our direction. Here's what we've seen over the last 6 hours. We watched them swirl out of northeastern Iowa and into southwest Wisconsin, and again, they're not all too strong or all that severe, but there is some cloud cover being produced by that. Visible cloud track shows you that weak disturbance, and then behind that, it's more sunshine, folks. So there will be a brief period for some showers and thunderstorms today, but then that moves on out of here. This is a weak cold front pushing towards the south and east, and then we get some quiet weather behind that. Temperatures will top out around 82 degrees. We'll cool down into the mid 60s and low 60s overnight tonight. Then your Wednesday is also going to be a milder day. Now, with the warmth and the humidity, we're trying to see some showers and storms pop up on future track. We'll watch that. I do think Wednesday, though, will end up being a drier day. Beyond that, it's the weekend that we have our eyes on. Watch this. We're going to see a big ridge of heat build across the western and central part of the country. This is Saturday. All of this warm air is going to stick around until early next week. And when I say warm air, I really mean it. We're also going to be getting some of the humidity in there as well. But we've got a 3-day stretch of 90s. Days on either side of that will have their temperatures in the upper 80s. Once you factor in the fact that the air is going to have a lot of moisture content to it, we will have heat indices in the upper 90s and perhaps low 100s. We do have 3 alert days in the forecast. That's going to be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for the potential of that heat and humidity. And heat is actually the #1 weather killer. So take that one seriously. Make sure you're staying hydrated and finding ways to stay cool those 3 days of the weekend. But ultimately, this is a very June and into July forecast.
It sure is.
Yeah, all 80s across the board. A couple days with some summer thunderstorms. Hit the pools, folks.
Yeah, hopefully we can dry out a little bit.
Yeah.
The storms last night were kind of noisy.
They really were, but oddly enough, they weren't severe. Then at one point, they began to produce some hail, and I think there were a couple instances where I think a tree was uprooted in Wanakee, but none of them were severe warned.
Just there's a threshold.
Yes, there is.
All right, we'll keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Up next, a noon dietitian Michelle Schwader is here to answer your diet and nutrition questions. 270-9933, the number to call. We'll get to them right after this. Dietitian Michelle Swader is here answering your health and nutrition questions. 270-9933 is the number to call. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hot weather's coming. We need to hydrate.
That's right.
And a lot of people grab those sports drinks.
They do. But there's actually been a study out that compared a banana to sugary sports drinks and water. And actually, banana came out ahead. It was more nutritious and less bloating than the sports drink. And it resulted in faster recovery and less inflammation than just the water alone.
So there's enough water in a banana?
Yeah, well, actually, fruits and vegetables are 80 to up to 96% water. So it's kind of hard to believe, but you get a lot of water content in fruits and vegetables, both produce.
Other than bananas, like what?
Yeah, so fruit and vegetable choices. Fruits would be melon and berries, peaches, pineapple. If you're going for a veggie, it would be cucumbers, celery, radish, of course, salad greens. So if you're recovering from a hard workout or gardening, putting some fruit together with some cottage cheese or the classic celery and peanut butter, would be great ways to get a lot more antioxidants and as well as the electrolytes that the sports drinks have. And sports drinks usually only have sodium and potassium, and food has more.
And we have 90s coming this weekend. What's to stay away from?
Yes. Well, it's just nice not to have to turn the oven on. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people will go for kind of no-cook stuff like salads and slaws. Definitely the foods that I mentioned that are really hydrating. A lot of people will do things like putting their blueberries or their grapes in the freezer to give them kind of like a sweet treat without necessarily having to rely on a sugary popsicle.
All right, let's go to the phones. We'll start with Gina from Madison. Hi, Gina.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Great, what's your question?
My question is about snacking and healthy snacking. Is it beneficial to do it, or is it best avoided not to have those treats throughout the day?
Well, that's a very good question. And I think it really depends on the day and what you have going on. If you are doing a workout, for example, I just mentioned if you're out there gardening for the weekend, you might want to have a little something to last you. If you get down to low blood sugar, low hydration, you're probably going to be feeling it the rest of the day. If your meals are a good size and proportionally balanced, you might not need a snack if you're just having a regular work day, for example. So it really kind of depends on what the pattern of your day is.
I have to have an apple at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
just the way it goes.
Or tradition.
Sherry from Madison. Hi, Sherry. Sherry, you there?
Yes, I am.
What's your question?
My question is, I'm about to have my gallbladder removed, so I wanted to see what kind of diet changes I can make now, prior to the surgery, that will make the surgery go easier, plus the aftercare go easier.
Okay, that is a great question. That's very forward thinking. Basically, what's going to happen is after the surgery, there's no necessarily gallbladder diet. People do find that they can be a little bit more sensitive to extremely fatty foods like fried French fries. Before that you would go, I would say the easiest thing to do would be to just watch the amount that you're eating. You're probably going to go on a liquid diet to start kind of emptying your stomach. And if you have a big dinner at the last moment, it's kind of hard to kind of wean off. And definitely with the fat too, kind of start weaning that away just so your gallbladder doesn't have to be very active in the days upcoming before surgery.
I had mine removed, and you have to change your diet a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. If you're used to fatty foods,
your body will tell you.
You're going to have to downgrade that a little bit.
Say,
yeah.
Nope, we're not doing that. All right, let's go to Tom in Madison. Hi, Tom.
Oh, hello. Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, what's your question?
My question is, I'm unclear about the bad rap that bananas have been getting for the last year or so. I don't know. I'm unclear. I hear you're supposed to only eat a half a banana, buy smaller bananas. Is it the sugar intake that's so bad? I mean, after all these decades, all of a sudden, that's it.
Right, and being a fruit, it's still a nutritious item. I think the bad rap that he's talking about, bananas are quite large for a portion size. A portion would be somewhere between a half and a full cup of banana. And if you take some of the really large bunches of bananas that are out there, it's probably going to be more like a portion and a half. And if you're counting your calories and you're counting your carbohydrates, that might make a difference. And yes, on the spectrum of the natural sugar that fruits contain, banana is kind of on the high side. And so some people that are doing a low-carb diet, or again, watching their carbohydrates, they do stay with lower sugar things like melon and berries. So it's not necessarily that the banana has become unhealthy.
They've gotten too big.
They've just grown a little big. And they do sell now mini bananas.
I didn't know there was a banana controversy. Learn something new every day. Thanks for everyone for calling in. We're out of time. If you're on the line, stay there. Michelle will talk to you off the air. We'll see you next month.
Thank you very much.
Chris has a final check of your forecast.
Yeah, we have a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm developing this afternoon. We'll watch those closely just because the ingredients are there for some of those to be severe. We're watching some storms come in right now. Otherwise, it's 3 alert days for the heat and humidity this weekend.
All right, we'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.